Next up, we're talking about the Mazon Labs. Brand new faction. I like it. Yeah, so for those who don't know, these are from the core set for Star Saga. So you'll get all the models actually that you need from the core set to make this entire Deadzone faction. Well, not entire, but nearly all for this Deadzone faction. And they are brilliant.
So go out and buy Star Saga.
Absolutely. From Mantic Games.
Seriously, it's worth it.
It's a science fiction board game that beats all others.
Even if you don't like the board game because you're an idiot or something,
just buy the
worth
minis.
It for the Deadzone.
Buy the minis. And there's loads of scatter terrain in there as well.
Yeah.
Loads of mercs. But yeah, it's good. So this one is a little bit different because it came from a spin-off from a board game. It only has 2 leaders, which is a little bit less than most factions have. All the other factions have 3 or more now.
Named leaders as well. It's
but
sort of like
named, yeah, a
mini elite list because they've got the same pool of models to choose from.
Yeah.
But the leader sort of they don't have vehicles, which is what you generally find with most elite lists.
Yeah, so they are more like an elite list because of the named characters. So you've got 2 choices. You've got Dr. Lucas Coiner, who is a sort of psychopathic medical researcher.
Think Dr. Octopus, but without the personality.
And without the tragic backstory.
That's what created his personality.
Yeah. So Dr. Lucas Coiner, he's quite interesting because he can stun people. We talked about stun in one of our other things with Marauders. So that means he activates them. And also, he can, he's got a laser cutter, so it burns. He's not very good in combat or shooting, to be honest, but he's tactician too. And he's got a pretty amazing splat. What's the splat he's got, Ross?
Splat is ridiculous. Well, before we go into the splat, you're saying he's not very good in combat. He has frenzy.
Yeah.
He's also a medic. But his splat is what makes him. When one of your models dies, you can create a plague victim. And
you might say to yourself, I've heard that before. Isn't that the same as the zombies created by the Stage 3A General?
No. Plague victims are good. Very good.
And we'll tell you about those in just a moment. But it has to be one of your models, so that's where it's a little bit different as well from the
zombie. With the
from the zombie, from the plague one. But that's alright, because Mazon Labs is a human lab, it's in the corporation. So you've got loads of puny humans to get killed.
Puny human mob will destroy you.
Yeah, the fast acting serum is brilliant. It allows you to place one of these plague victims.
It is place prone.
And they are, activated. But they are very, very good indeed. And we'll get onto those in a moment. The other leader makes the Mazon Labs play in a very different way. And he is the Guard Commander Graves. So he is like the head of the security detail. And he basically makes them all shoot better and things like that. So if you want to take a bit more of a shooty GCPS sort of focused force, he's quite a good choice for that. But you've got to go for the fast acting serum.
I personally would. I mean, his splat's good. It allows you to fire for effect. So basically, you can shoot, then fire for effect, the same model. So you're sort of getting 2 shots. But you could also set it up that you fire for effect and then you can still sprint into combat with somebody pinned. Or the same person. So it's not bad.
Not bad at all. So let's talk about the troops. There are a bunch of troop options. So you've got, who's up first?
Lab technicians.
Lab technicians. They've no place on a battlefield.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. They're terrible. They're terrible. But they're 6 points. 6 points. They are a VP, but they are 6 points. They can't do much, but they do have a shock baton, which comes with
they're alright in combat, and they're fight 5.
They can fight a bit, yeah. And they have this knockback, so that's quite good for pushing models away, of course. The other really good thing about the shock baton is this is a new model, a new item, and it allows you to stop models in the same cube from rampaging. Now, that would be useless unless there were models in this faction that had rampage, and therefore you could control that whenever you wanted to.
That could be useful. But it is a risk that you have to decide, am I going to use the shock baton or let them rampage and try and get that 7 or 8?
It is a risk. It is a risk. But you never won it because you get the 1 and 2.
You've seen my dice. He won. He only rolls 8s.
Right. So the other troops on offer are the security guards. So this is your standard sort of human security guard, just a normal.
It's basically a rev, but a bit better save.
Yeah. Basically, it's like GCPS.
Yeah.
Marine. Yeah. And then you've got the Urbana Black Wing Marine. So these are actually equivalent to the veterans in the GCPS list. So this is the from the Star Saga rulebook. This is the type of model who's controlling and taking over the Mazon Labs. They're employed by Maison, and they, again, you know, they're a troop. They're a good shooter, and again, that gives you a real option. But it's
for effect. Sorry, not 5.
Weight is fine.
Weight.
But they're a really good choice, aren't they? And they've just come in at 11 points, which is great. We're going to talk about specialists now. So the specialists for Maison Labs. Who have we got?
We've got the Ranger.
Who's just a Ranger, same as all the others. Except that Maison Labs in Star Saga was set underground, so it didn't make a lot of sense to have aerial deployment. So what's he going instead?
Scout!
Scout, which is basically the same, but not quite as versatile in some ways, but better in others, because you don't have to land on the top of a building. You can sort of squirrel through windows and doors and stuff.
It's my squirrel impression.
Yeah, so you got specialist, of course, so you can take your flamer or your grenade launcher, and if you get the core set from Star Saga, they actually come with guys with flamers and well, just with flamers actually. But in the normal GCPS sprue, you can use the same
grenade
models,
launchers and
with
things
grenade
like
launchers and stuff. And what other specialists have we got here? So that's right, Ross. You've got engineers, okay, and you've got medics as well as options for the Maison Labs. But even more interesting, it just sounds like a bunch of humans, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What else have we got in the Maison Labs?
Plague victims.
Plague victims! That's right. So, because Maison Labs and Dr. Lucas Coyne, they're not nice people, so what they've done is they've been experimenting, basically. They've been experimenting with Vector P, the Plague. Oh! I can't do any more than that. And what they've done is they've created these plague victims. So plague victims are quite interesting. They again come in the Star Saga box set, and these models are sort of transitioning plague models, aren't they? They've been sort of infected, they're transferring over, so they're not quite 2As or 3As like you get in the plague list. There's something completely different. So they can move very fast.
Oh yeah.
2-3 is their movement. They can't shoot anything, they're too crazed for that.
Don't
they
need
have
to.
a fight stat of 4.
With
Frenzy 1. Absolutely. They are beasts, so they're not focused on picking anything up. And the downside is that they have rampage, which is why the shock battles, we mentioned earlier on, might be really useful, because that's size 1.
decent survival 5 as well.
Mm-hmm. Can't take any options for weapons or anything like that, but they're pretty darn nasty. And 11 points and 1 VP, certainly a good fun addition. So you've got sort of a base of shooting perhaps with your GCPS, and then you've got a very good
Salt troop.
Small size, but fast and nasty. And if you use the fast acting serum from Lucas Coyne, then you can create new ones. They still cost you VP if they die, mind. So they're not, again, quite like the zombies in the Stage 3As list.
The Zombies you're thinking
Zombies.
You're thinking of 28 days later there, right?
Yeah, I am. So what else have they got as options? They've got...
Aberration.
An aberration. An actual aberration. So when plague gets properly into you, that's what happens. You get an aberration. And the aberration is slightly better than he used to be, because now he's got a face like that. No, he's got tough. That's what he's got. He's got tough. So for 40 points before, he always felt a little bit like he was not good enough, really, for the price. But now with tough, he's much more survivable than he has been in the past. So again, should be a really good option to take. And that's the same if you're taking Plague or if you're taking the Maison Labs. He still has tough in both. And then there's one other option as well in the specialist category for the Maison Labs. That's right! Everyone loves a space octopus or jellyfish, whatever it is.
Squid.
Yeah, squid.
Mobile storage unit.
So, an organic data storage unit. Yeah. Who needs USB ports in your pocket? No! Just bring your own space squid. That's all you need. So this one is psychic, like all Chovars. This is a Chovar. He's psychic, so he gets psychic attacks. He can use a Mind Blast, Mind Terror, and Hyperkinesis, which is Invigorate, and Electrical Discharge. You can fight as well and give you knockback. So all of those are quite good. Blast, Stun, none of them do much damage, but they move people around and they stop people activating. So again, that feeds in very nicely into how you might use some of your plague victims, perhaps.
He also has Frenzy.
He does, and an Energy Shield, so he's quite good as Chovar.
Very good.
And obviously another one of these comes in the Star Side box set anyway. So the only final thing that you can have in the Mazon Labs is the one thing that doesn't come in the Star Side box set, which is a Strider. So it's a normal GCPS Strider that can be added in there if you want to buy that as an add-on. And it just gives you that little bit more sort of resilient model to bulk them out, essentially.
An abomination and all that.
An aberration.
That as well.
Yeah, so I think the Mazon Labs, whilst on the face of it, the Mazon Labs have a lot of choices. The ones you've got are really good, and they'll play very differently. And a relatively sort of cheap way of getting in as well, particularly if you already have Star Saga, of course, that you can pretty much pick them up and play. So give them a try and see how they come out for you. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.